Hey, you know who it is, man. It's your boy, Shooter the Investor, and I'm checking in for the gang. And I got a banger for you guys today. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the halving cycle, give you a better idea what the halving cycle is. And then we're going to talk about the market cycle and current market sentiment. And then we're going to forecast and look into the deep bull run of 2025 and 2030. So make sure you keep it locked. Don't go nowhere, man. We turning it up. Turn me up in the chat. Let's go. Hey, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Bitcoin halving cycle. Have you heard of it? Maybe one of your OG crypto heads might have dropped a couple of bars on you about the halving cycle. You might have been seeing it floating around on Twitter. You might have been seeing it floating around on the interwebs on YouTube. Halving cycle this, the importance of the halving cycle of 2025. It's on the way. What does this mean? What does the halving cycle mean? I'm gonna give you in layman terms, straight to the point. Basically, every 4 years, Bitcoin goes through a halving cycle where the price, well, excuse me, not the price, the supply, the available supply is cut in half. This is one of the main reasons why Bitcoin is so rare. It has a mechanism within the blockchain coding that was built out from day one that every 4 years it will be a halving, cutting the supply in half. That's why the price of Bitcoin is so freaking high, because it's rare. Every 4 years, that price goes up because the supply gets cut. This is your traditional supply and demand, right? When you take the supply out and there's a demand, the price goes up because of the rarity. That's why Bitcoin is king of all cryptocurrencies, because of this mechanism, right? So they started off with 21 million Bitcoin. There will only be 21 million Bitcoin created, never duplicated, and every 4 years they cut it in half. So we're coming up on the third halving cycle out of this bear run. Makes more sense? Hopefully. Do some more research. If you want the technical breakdown, go watch other YouTubes. Go Google it, but that's in layman terms what the halving cycle. So the importance of it, again, it controls the market cycle, right? It's very important. I got a couple of charts here that I'm going to show you. Let me go ahead and switch my screen. First, before anything, we are in coin market cap. We're looking at Bitcoin right here, right? I'm going to pull up some historical data that is very important. So if you don't know how to pull up historical data on CoinMarketCap, you come here to cryptocurrencies and you come here to horizontal historical snapshots. And from there, you can see from 2013 and current, right? So we want to take a look at 2015, roughly bear flipping the bull market. Bitcoin. So at the current time of 2015, April 12th, Bitcoin market cap was $3.3 billion. Very important. Their price was $236 per coin. The circulating supply was about 14 million Bitcoin. All right. So if we back out of that and kind of look at a different snapshot, let's look at 2020, April, keep it consistent, right? Bitcoin market cap shoots up. Price of Bitcoin, almost $7,000. Circulating supply, about 18 million, right? It's very important, right? Because we have these halving cycles. So I kind of wanted to show you that in between those two. So let's come over to the Bitcoin rainbow chart. If you've never seen this before, it's blockchaincenter.net. You can look at the /ED/Bitcoin dash rainbow dash chart, right? It's right here. Save it, lock it in, look at it. This chart gives you, this chart breaks down the halving cycles, and you can look, I kind of slid over already. This is the first halving cycle back in 2013. The second halving cycle roughly between 2016, 2017. We just had our third one, right, in 2020. And then the next one, the next 4 years, 2024, right? This one we're approaching. Now, as an investor, it's up to you, and it's very important that you understand and be able to do analysis, technical analysis, and fundamental analysis as well too. But technical analysis, and be able to ID trends, right? Taking information, seeing what the trend is, right? We're looking at this chart in its entirety now, and it's telling a great story, right? And if you don't see the story or you're not too familiar, keep it locked on my channel because I'm going to be breaking down a lot more technical analysis for sure. But let's talk about this particular chart here. And we're just going to go right through it straight layman terms, right? No fluff. Let's just shoot it, right? And I want to start in the second halving, right? In 2017, right? So if you can see here from this run up, from this massive bull run back in 2014, we started in a bear market. We started getting a healthy pullback, right? We had a big run up, right? And I'm gonna show you on TradingView what that run up looked like. We started to pull back healthy, got into this blue area, which is considered a fire sale according to this chart, right? Bitcoin became very affordable. People was taking profits from the first run up. Those were the believers. Those were the ones was like, you know what? I'm here for this new decentralized cryptocurrency. I'm tired of dealing with Wall Street and blah, 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 blah. They were the believers that stood firm, was buying Bitcoin for $4, etc., and made a lot of money off the first run up, right? Then you had the second wave, right? These are the people that was probably told about the first wave and didn't believe and then saw their friends making millions, etc., etc. And it was like, you know what? Next time I'm in there, I'm not going to miss it. You still had people on the sideline that didn't believe. The news was like, yo, they were selling off. They was like, Bitcoin is over. It was dead. It was a one-trick pony. And then slowly for 2 years, right through the halving cycle, it pretty much traded sideways. It gave people an opportunity to buy Bitcoin for a cheap price. Not as cheap as it was back here, right? In 2012, it's like $5. But during this time of the 25 consolidation run here, 2015 consolidation run, you can see Bitcoin was trading between like $100, $300, $400, $500. Now, honestly, in the chat, would you would have bought Bitcoin for $100, $200, $300? Keep it a buck. Keep it in a buck. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you would have bought Bitcoin, and let me know how much you would have bought. Right. So from 2015, you can just see it kind of just pretty much just on fire sale, right? Trading sideways until we got through the halving cycle in 2017. Bitcoin shot up to $1,000. Then it just skyrocketed, pumped all the way up to about 14. We'll just call it 14,000, 16,000, right? Yeah, 15. It's like, let's see, red bubble. We'll call it 21,000. Shot up 21,000 in 2018. What happened? People was taking their profits, as they should. You were buying Bitcoin for $100, $200, $300, and shot up to 21,000. You darn right, I'm taking profits, right? Taking profits. And as you can see, nice healthy pullback, repeating itself, right? Gave you a couple of opportunities for some runners to get out. Those who bought at the top, they losing money because they FOMO bought in because they didn't believe here. And now Bitcoin's pulling back down. Now, Bitcoin in 2019, $3,600 a coin. Still at value because we already know what the all-time high is. Looking back, we can say that was a value. Would you would have bought Bitcoin at $3,600 token? Keep it a buck. Let me know. Had a nice little run up, little fake run up here, right? We get those time and time when you're talking stocks and crypto. We get those little pops to get you excited, right? But we know the importance of a halving cycle because it goes with our market cycle. We know in 4 years, Bitcoin is going to rip. It's going to pull back. It's going to give investors opportunity to buy. It's going to trade sideways, crab walk. And then right in between or after the halving cycle is going to pump. So that's what it did. It kind of faked this out, right? People got excited, throwing money in, buying Bitcoin for 40,000. Excuse me, $10,000. Pulled back because the bear cycle wasn't done. Pulled back, and then boom, 2020, right? We had that Black Swan event. COVID hit March 22nd, 2020. Bitcoin price was at 5,009. People thought it was over, not taking consideration that the whole economy in itself was down bad. Not only was crypto down bad, the stock market was down bad too for about a whole month. And then we had a rally. And that rally exploded right between the halving cycle, the third one, right? I'm not bugging. This is the halving cycle, right? It dropped right before it. Boom, rips. What did Bitcoin do? $69,000 Bitcoin. From where? Roughly $6,000 or so, $5,000 Bitcoin, all up to 69, new all-time high. Pulled back, created a double top, meaning it gave opportunity for you to take profits before when? The halving cycle. Before we have the halving cycle, we have to have a bear market. So if you are hip to how the halving cycle and market cycles work, you know that we're going to have a major pump, could be a year, 2 years. Then we have a drawback. Remember, bear markets usually last over 365 days. Excuse me, a bull market. A bear market usually lasts about 280 plus days. This one that we're currently in is a little bit longer. What does that mean? It's giving you an opportunity, just like the previous 3 halving cycles. Rip, bear market gives you opportunity to accumulate. Then we go through the half. Supply get cuts. The supply of Bitcoin get cuts in half. The price pumps. Supply and demand. Right? This is not just mumbo jumbo that I'm putting out there to y'all to get you to go buy Bitcoin, because I don't care if you go buy Bitcoin or not. But you need to understand how market cycles work in the crypto space. Bitcoin is over 60% of the market. Let me double check that. 38% of the market, it belongs to Bitcoin. So it's the king. So when Bitcoin, it's kind of like SPY and the NASDAQ. When those move, other stocks move with it or against it, or in a sense. When Bitcoin and Ethereum move, the market moves with it. The more money they get pumps into Bitcoin, the more money gets trickled down into the altcoins. So you need to understand when we're approaching these halving cycles, so you know when to get in and get out for profit taking, right? Because if you think about it, and if anybody's new to crypto in 2020, and a lot of people on YouTube were very new to crypto in 2020, everyone felt like a genius. Get into this play, da 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 da. You're gonna make a killing, etc., etc., etc. You get into play, and we run it up. Those who got in 2021, who didn't believe in the people that's telling them in 2019 and 2020, they are the FOMO buyers. They are the ones that was calling you and say, hey, bro, hey, sis, should I be getting into this? Should I be buying this? Should I be buying Doge? Should I be buying Sheep? Should I be buying ETH? Should I be buying Bitcoin? But they buying green candles. And you know what I say. You buy green candles, you get red dildos all day. And you know what that means. You get effed, right? Because you're buying the top of the market. People who bought in 2019 and 20 doing accumulation and doing COVID scare, smart money, they're the ones just dollar cost averaging out of the plays, taking profits all the way up. And you're calling them, asking them, should you be buying Sheep and Doge in 2021 from July to October? It's a horrible time to be doing it because people are taking profits. I'm sharing this information with you guys so you can be prepared for the next run. Every 4 years, I'm showing you. Halving cycle 2013, 2016 middle, 2020 halving, and then we're approaching 2024, 2025 halving cycle. What are we doing? We're in a bear market. Bitcoin has cooled off from $69,000 a coin. The low of this year of 2022 has been the low was roughly $12,000 a token, which I believe still have room to get down to 10. Now, not an oracle, not a genie or nothing like that. I can't tell the future. Bitcoin could possibly do a fake pump, breakout like it did back in 2019, and then sell off. I don't know when to sell off. I personally look at the chart. I feel like there has more room to the downside, especially when the R word is announced after the holiday season. I think we might see a $10,000 Bitcoin. For me, that's exciting. For others, those who don't understand cryptocurrency, you're going to hear a lot of FUD. You're going to hear a lot of people hitting you up. Oh, what's up with your crypto? How your crypto doing? Being very sarcastic and trying to be funny, right? How's your crypto doing? You still buying Bitcoin? Yeah, that just crazy. Da, 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 da. You're going to get those calls. You're probably getting them now, right? Family members, friends, you're going to see it. Celebrities, etc. on Twitter and IG talking down on it. This is the same pattern from 2013 during these rough times. It happens in the stock market. It happens in the crypto market a lot. They call it FUD, right? You're going to see the media talking bad about Bitcoin because they want you to sell your position so they can come in there and scoop it up for the cheap and wait for the run up. This investing game in cryptocurrency or the stock market is about being patient. Now, there's opportunities where you can run options or short stuff, right? But if you just want to kind of sit back and let your money do what it do, you just got to be patient for a couple of years or two. That's why when you're buying cryptocurrency in good projects, investing into good solid projects, You have to tell yourself, am I ready to put X amount of dollars into this project for 2 to 5 years, right? 2 to 10 years, whatever the case may be. Do I need this money, right? You should only be investing money that you don't need. So you have to look at yourself. And if you're not familiar with the halving cycle, like I'm showing you here, then, that's when that anxiety kicked in, when you're dollar cost averaging. You're like, I know I need to be dollar cost averaging, but I'm not seeing any relief. Now you're looking at this rainbow chart and kind of seeing the history of Bitcoin. Now you understand the importance of a halving and what that means to the supply of Bitcoin, and why that makes the price jump up, because the demand is high, but the supply get cuts in half. Basic supply and demand 101. So looking at this, we know we have a halving coming up. We're already in this blue area, which is significantly as basically a fire sale, which we know Bitcoin is roughly about 60%, 50, 60, 70% down. And then we're probably going to get this consolidation next year of 2023. Consolidation or crab walking, like I say, where we just trade sideways for a while, just to give you opportunity to buy assets at a decent, maybe not as the best price of when it was coming down, but it's kind of more steady, where you can kind of like just buy assets and just prepare yourself for the run up, right? And then once we get in, so that's my idea of what 2023 is going to look like. We might get a little relief here. I don't see a big relief happen. I could be totally wrong. It might pop before the halving, but just looking at this history of this rainbow chart and halving, we know that's not ideal, but it could be different, right? So I'm gonna continue to buy more Bitcoin. I'm set up with Bitcoin where I invest over $6,000, kind of like a 401k, IRA, or whatever the case may be, where I'm investing a certain amount per month, per year, and I just let it cook, right? I just let it bake, shake and bake. And I probably won't touch Bitcoin until 2030 bull run, honestly. By that time, I did the math on it. Definitely going to be in Deca status with Bitcoin, which is multi-millionaire status, just from putting a certain amount. Now, I put about at least six, at minimum 6 per year. That means sometimes I can put 6 in a month, or whatever the case may be. So the price changes just depending on, where I'm moving money, etc. But I treat it as such, as a 401k, IRA, as retirement, mostly for little for me, mostly me and my wife, and mostly for the kids. Make sure they straight. So this is the rainbow chart. Now let's go to TradingView. This is TradingView's chart here. I got Bitcoin. I'm on the weekly, right? And as you can see, the similarities, right, is mapped out. This goes back to 2015. We had that pullback, right? 2015, got that pullback right here, and then we had that rip up, right? This is different because I think this is based off a daily, or it could be, let me see. Oh, it's weekly too. This chart is based off of weekly. So you can see the pullback, right? The healthy pullback, and then we started to rip in 15 to 16, the years. And as you can see, pull back to 15, accumulate. Then we started to rip in 2016 all the way up, right? So let's stay here. So I don't want to confuse you. We'll stay on this chart right here. And basically what you're looking at here, I got these green box areas. This is the percentage gain from the beginning of the run. So I'll start it here, right? And then we had a good 16,721% run up. So with all, that's about 178% X, 168x on your money. So if you would have put $1,000 here at the bottom, you'd have made over $168,000 at this high. This red box, if you can see it, was the pullback. Bitcoin usually pulls back anywhere between 70 to 80% in a bear market. As you can see here, it pulled back 85%. And then we had the next run. Let me straighten that up. We had the next run, which I will say from here, because we kind of consolidated and had that second run allow you to get those runners off. Then we pulled back in February and then had this 17,440% run up, which is roughly at 18x on your money. $1,000 back here, 18x, $18,000 if you put $1,000 in. Then we double topped, got a chance to get out of the play for a second time, and now we're pulling back. And currently, Bitcoin is down 79, 80%. So that's just a little what we know is true. These white boxes represents a forecast of what could happen. Not saying it's going to happen, but this is how I'm looking at it based on the trends of the halving cycle. So as we prepare ourselves, and I'm doing slight run-ups with Bitcoin usually do about 1700% run-ups, or 1700% run-ups each year, roughly. So that's roughly about a 16 to 18x. Could be less the next run-up, could be more. I'm just taking what I've been given from the previous run-up. So looking at that, this is white box represents that. I actually did a 23x run up, right? With the supply getting cut in half, once again, making it more rare. I think Bitcoin have a much larger run up and kind of put us into that $100,000 per Bitcoin range on the next bull cycle. I could be totally wrong. It could be the following bull cycle, but again, this is my forecast. This is just how I'm basing it off with my technical analysis. So looking at it, and I actually dropped this particular start point about 10% further, because I think, like I said, we can get a little Bitcoin could possibly break this trend line, the yellow line, this trend line, and get into that 12,000 back to that 12,000 range. So I kind of started my bull run line a little sooner to give us that 24x, right? So I'm looking at it from there, possibly starting here, pushing us up into a 24x, giving us a 243,000 Bitcoin per Bitcoin, creating an all new high. Look like we might crush that, create an all new high, all-time high in the years between now and 2024 halving cycle. So I'm looking at it to get up in this red hot area in between 200K to 277K. From there, I'm looking at us to pull back another 76%, 80%, pretty much keeping us into that $100,000 range. And then in 2030, that's going to be the massive one that puts us at a $1.1 million Bitcoin. I know, crazy, right? But the supply gets cut in half here and then here again. So simple supply and demand. The supply get cut in half, but the demand is high. And this is going to have to be based off institutional money, venture capitalists is coming in, the adoption of cryptocurrency. It's going to be a lot dependent on it, right? But you're looking at from 2022, and I'll just say 2023 because it's December, for 7 years from 2030, Web 3.0 is going to take off, the metaverse, web storage, VR, AR, and Bitcoin's pricing going to be cut in half. I personally think Bitcoin is going to outweigh gold. Not saying it's going to be in 2030, but I think its overall market cap will reach over $11 trillion. It's definitely going to have to reach over $11 trillion to get to $1 million Bitcoin. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it from a large micro standpoint. Not telling, again, I'm not using this to tell you guys to go out and buy Bitcoin. You do what you want with your money. I just want to give you some information about the halving cycle and market cycles, and then give you what I'm looking at forecasting. All this can be thrown away and Bitcoin can drop down to $850, $500, $100, etc. Right? The likelihood of that, I don't know. There's a lot of institutional players in it. A lot of people in interest. A lot of countries are funding their country right now off of Bitcoin. Argentina is getting themselves out of debt right now using Bitcoin. El Salvador, a lot of South American countries, a lot of players are using Bitcoin. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Hopefully you learned something. Give me a thumbs up if you felt like you learned something. Share this with your family and friends. Rewatch it. Take notes. It's important to understand these halving cycles and these market cycles. I'm not going to hold you. I'm Shooter the Investor. Hope you learned something. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Peace out.